So in this video, what I want to do is actually give you guys a little bit of my updated impressions on Fallout 76, because they definitely have changed, at least somewhat. But even beyond that, actually show you some of the highlights from my beta sessions thus far. For those of you wondering, yes, I am going to be live streaming again in just probably a couple of hours after this video does come out. But otherwise, if you guys do enjoy the content, you can subscribe. At 350,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a cooking video with the Fallout cookbook I just bought. So if you honestly don't care about my impressions and just want to skip to see some of the coolest things I did during my playthrough, there's a timestamp on screen right now. But otherwise, something I've been really noticing about Fallout 76 is as I'm playing more of it, I'm getting bored of this game significantly faster than I was with other Fallout games. Like, there's definitely still a lot of fun to be had, but I feel like the novelty of it is starting to wear off very quickly. Going to some of these new locations, finding some of these new stories just aren't super appealing to me anymore. I think at the end of the day, it really does boil down to the lack of NPCs, the lack of dialogue choices. I feel significantly less invested in just hearing about what the people at a certain location did compared to in previous games where you actually met that person, interacted with them, and maybe did a quest for them. For my first 10 to 15 hours, I really focused on exploring and trying to find just cool stuff. Apparently, that's what this game does best, and for those hours, I had a blast. It was awesome finding new creatures, new locations, and even new pieces of equipment. But at least as I stand right now, I definitely feel like I'm kind of getting tired of that, and a lot of days now I do stream Fallout 76 because I think it's fun to stream the game, but I'd almost rather be playing a different game over this one. Fortunately, in my last play session, I started doing some of the quests for the Enclave and actually had like a big group of people playing with me, and that definitely made it significantly more fun than some of my other ones. Doing the Enclave quest has without a doubt kind of reinvested me in this game, and I think because it has significantly more interactions with robots than a lot of the past quests I've done. Like the Brotherhood quest, what I did of it was just hearing about the Brotherhood, not interacting with anything. I'm not going to spoil anything for the Enclave, and I do actually want to complete that Brotherhood quest. Maybe it gets much better towards the end of it, but the Enclave quest is definitely more interactive and just feels a lot cooler, a lot more like some of those older Fallout games. And hopefully following this, a lot of the other quests I do will also have cool stories that really make me feel more involved in them. But again, these are my evolving opinions, so it's not like my final takeaway of this game. I'm just literally explaining to you how I feel day to day as I play more and more of it. But either way, moving on to the highlights, there was a lot of cool stuff I did during the PC beta. I was actually finally able to find and take down the grafted monster. This is one of those ones that I saw in the trailer. I thought it looked awesome, but I just never encountered it in game. Fortunately, this time I was able to encounter it twice, actually get some pretty awesome screenshots of it. And it's probably one of the easiest tough enemies that do exist, while later in this video I'll probably show you one of the hardest enemies I've found thus far. But either way, if you are looking for the grafted monster, I am consistently finding him in this little kind of like sewer area outside of the Poseidon energy plant. Speaking of the Poseidon energy plant, I actually had a squad of like 6 or 7 different people. We were all playing together, and obviously we weren't all in one squad, but we were in a Discord together. We decided to do the event at Poseidon where basically you fix a bunch of stuff at the thing, then you get a reward in the end, or you typically would get a reward in the end. In a moment where I don't really know if I should cry or laugh, basically all of us roughly were doing the same thing, going from location to location. We all went into a door to try and fast travel to get to the next stage of this event. And subsequently, all 6 of us froze. We all got stuck in an endless load screen. This being 6 different people on different computers in different locations. Obviously, it had something to do with the server. I don't know if the entire server crashed, but nothing ever happened again. We all had to Alt F4 and actually close our windows manually. And of course, after that, we lost like the half hour of progress we just put into this event and subsequently moved on to something else. A rather odd glitch and something I haven't seen anybody else encounter, but yeah, Fallout 76 successfully took down 6 of us at the same time. So another place I actually went was Mount Blair, otherwise known as the big excavator from the trailers. There are a ton of mole people up here, which I think are probably one of the coolest new enemies that are like fairly abundant. But even beyond that, a lot of these guys had shotguns. I probably got more shotgun ammo in this like half-hour exchange than I have found throughout the rest of my playthrough combined. So if you're looking for a good place to farm shotguns, this is where you should be going. But now I actually want to show you guys what is probably one of the most abusable, I guess, exploits or features of this game. So if you don't know, workshops are these new things that you can claim after clearing out all of the enemies. It normally costs a certain amount of caps, but with that you actually get access to all of the materials in the workshop, so you could build a ton of stuff for seemingly free. But other players can claim this and it can be attacked by NPCs, whatever. Normally, I'll place down a ton of turrets to help in my defense. Well, what I discovered was actually you can place down a plethora of turrets here, and just attacking somebody else will activate all of those turrets on them. So this could be any other random player on the server. They never have to attack you back for turrets to actually get aggroed, which seems like something that should probably be changed. Because you can see here, I could have my 10 turrets just start attacking this guy as he tries to use my crafting table. It's very funny, it's very griefy, and it's definitely something that I've had some fun with in other videos. Throughout Fallout 76, you might find these keys, like you just randomly find a key on the ground. I actually found one of these at that excavator, and more or less the way this works is it's going to be a key to somebody's locker at a random location. Personally, I found one that is in a mine, so it was a miner's key. I could go later to his locker, and it was almost like finding a little treasure. I know a lot of people are kind of curious about what was going on here. It's not nearly as exciting as it seemed like at first. I thought maybe I had gotten access to a secret part of the map or something. But no, you literally just get some random loot. Another way you could do the exact same thing is actually finding those treasure maps. These are scattered all throughout the map, and more or less after getting the treasure map, you have to go to a certain location, and then there you just click E on the ground and you'll be able to get a bunch of loot that way also. And since there seems to be so much confusion about this, no, you don't need a shovel to dig this up. I was asking people on my stream, everyone's like, oh yeah, you need a shovel. No, you don't need a shovel. Another thing I found was Vault 63. This is one of those vaults I talked about in a video, but never actually found it myself. I was using somebody else's footage, and it is just as mundane as it seemed in that video. Searching around the surrounding area, I couldn't find any like terminals or anything that would give backstory on this vault. And actually just going down there, you get nothing. There actually is an ID card reader, as I speculated in my past video. I looked at it more specifically this time. That seems to indicate to me that this will likely be a source of future content. Maybe it actually is in the game already, although I assumed someone would have found this ID and opened the vault. But compared to at least all the other vaults I found, and I think I found 3 at this point, this by far has the least information going around with it, and it honestly just is the least interesting. A lot of people are really hoping that Bethesda will do something where we have an event, let's say the vault doors open, and we actually get other human NPCs in Fallout 76. That'd be awesome. That'd be a game-changing event, and I think it'd be a super memorable online experience in just any video game. So something particularly odd I actually found in this game, going out to one of the outer regions of the map. I got this quest to discover Garahan Mining's innovation, and it seemed like it was actually a good side quest, very interesting. But seemingly Fallout 76 actually features level-locked quests. Like I'm sure we've all encountered the level limits on weapons and armor, but it seems like also certain quests, I guess I just wouldn't be able to complete this one. I tried to progress it, but I ended up dying anyway, and I was like, alright, screw this. Some people in the chat during my live stream were saying that this could be a result of the fact that at the end of this, you get the excavator power armor, and it wouldn't give me that quest reward or something along those lines. But I just found this to be very odd, and it's the only time I've actually seen this occur. But let me know in the comments down below, have you found any level lock quests or just content in general outside of weapons and armor? I found a honey beast, which is most people's favorite new creature, and it didn't respond until we actually attacked it. It literally just stood there looking at us. This is an issue I've had with several enemies. It seems like evidently it's not totally fixed just yet, but it actually does provide you the ability to get some really awesome screenshots of otherwise hard to capture foes. So there's a location on the map known as Grafton Steel Yard. It's another place where you can get a workshop, and then of course, after claiming the workshop, you have to defend any enemies that do come and try and take it back or attack you. So during this, we got 2 waves of anglers, and what I found was by far the best method thus far to actually farm adhesive. I don't know exactly how many anglers came, but let's just say there was 10 in each wave. Every single one I took down was dropping roughly 4 or 5 adhesive each. Adhesive being notorious for one of the most difficult crafting materials to actually get. A lot of people go the vegetable starch route, but after this event and actually taking down all these enemies, I am probably set for adhesive for the foreseeable future, definitely my next 10 to 20 hours. I don't actually know if this was some kind of glitch or it was specific to me defending the Grafton Steel Yard. I've killed other anglers and didn't find adhesive, but considering the fact it's fairly easy to kill these guys, you just have to place down some turrets, I would definitely recommend giving this a go if you are in the need of certain resources. But speaking of good ways to farm things, there's actually this location known as Dyer Chemical. It's in the Mire area of the map, or however you pronounce it. Basically, at this location, there are a ton of robo-brains. For me, they were all level 30. I again had a full squad of people and then some extras following us that weren't in my squad, but I got more experience in this location than probably any other on the map. The robo-brains did next to no damage, and a lot of times they would just straight up miss you. Even though they were significantly higher level than me, I had no problem taking them down, and when you take them down, you get a number of things. Just great loot in general. Almost every single one of these guys actually drops a fusion core, and a ton of experience. I leveled up more times here than probably anywhere else. So if you guys do have a few people together and you want to go clear out some locations to actually try and level up quickly, this is exactly where I would head to. But as far as enemies to not farm, I was actually at my camp just trying to scrap some items, and all of a sudden a Mylar Queen popped up out of the water. This thing was only level 20, and at this point I was around that level 15, 16, something like that. And we had 6 people fighting this thing. The fight itself took forever. This Mylar Queen is by far the most difficult enemy I've faced. I don't know if it was maybe glitched out or if the level was reporting wrong, but the amount of health and the amount of damage this enemy dealt to us was ridiculous. It felt like we were fighting 2 Scorch Beasts at the same time or something. And after all that, it gave barely any experience and almost no good loot. It was actually literally worse than fighting one of those Robo Brains I showed you earlier, but it probably took 10 times as long. And also, for those of you who have been watching this consistently, I was finally able to kill a Wendigo, or however you pronounce their name. I know in like 2 or 3 videos now I've attempted to do it, I failed over and over again, but this time I had several people with me. But also, right after doing that, look at these frogs. I feel like this really highlights the differences in some of the textures in this game. It's something that's been really standing out to me, but I haven't found like a good way to actually visualize it. But seeing these 3 different frogs lined up and just how different and kind of scary or spooky they actually look, I think actually really does a good job at showcasing one of the best new features in Fallout 76, and that's enemy variety, even in just the same kind of enemy. But either way, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one. As always, again, I thank you guys for watching. If you did, you can leave a like, comment, or even subscribe. I should be live streaming the beta in all of an hour at this point. And with that, I hope to see you all next time. Later.